Valorant. The memories it brings back. Tears, blood. Ever since I started playing this game a couple years ago, it's always been full of memories and feelings. The world they built up in this unique game was so capturing. The short-lived ambience you get right before the match starts on Split is peaceful and enchanting. The music of the game, tunes and chords so good, it could make the most boring and longest loading screen in the world the most amazing thing to ever happen. The cool and uniquely designed characters, each with their own different personalities and abilities, the interactions these agents have about the past they had that we have yet to see, if we do. This simple multiplayer game brings back so many memories. Late nights with siblings running around, a mouse thrown out a window, but that was back then. How is it doing now? It's been a couple years since the game has been launched, and the journey it's gone through has been a crazy one. When a game pops up and casually gets the world's attention, and I mean the world, the problem isn't getting more players and attention, it's maintaining what you have because you can lose it in the snap of a finger. Now, how has Riot Games been doing? Have they maintained those numbers, or has Valorant faded away as a thing that happened? The premise and the genre that Riot picked up was not an easy one, as CSGO, technically the first of these games, is a very specific and unique style. So the question remains, and the answer awaits, how is Valorant doing? Don't forget to subscribe. The road to how we got Valorant in the first place is a long one, as it's not the most original game out there. Many people even say it's a ripoff and all that stuff, but trust me, there are some similarities between Overwatch and Valorant, but more importantly, CSGO. Our journey starts on August 21st, 2012, with the release of a certain Counter-Strike Global Offensive. This game blew up. It was addictive. See, Counter-Strike is a very specific kind of game. It's deep in its own niche. When you compare it to Call of Duty, you can say that these two games are alike, but also couldn't be any farther apart. It's a very specific kind of game, putting a huge emphasis on strategic and tactical thinking, as well as so many other things. While the setting is similar to Call of Duty, the playstyle is completely different. Nevertheless, this game blew up. While I'm not going to go into the details of the whole Counter-Strike situation, rest assured that this game was very popular and very unique. As the years went along, the numbers slowly started to dry out and fade. Though it wasn't over some massive ordeal, it was a slow drop in players' attention and interest over time. Then, after almost a decade of silence, something happened. There were some leaks revolving around Riot Games, who at the time had only really been known for League of Legends, but the leaks revealed something mysterious, a secret operation labeled Project A. Though, of course, the name would change, this was the early stages of Valorant. With the first trailer being released, many people started putting together, pretty easily, the similarities between Valorant and CSGO. And when the beta came out, those theories were ultimately made facts. Now, Valorant beta. If you know, you know. The whole beta key system was a mess. It wasn't handled well, it wasn't thought out well, and in the end, it was just some big mess. Now, I could make a whole video on this alone, but for the sake of this video not being half an hour long, I'll keep it short. Once we got through the grueling beta phase, the game was launched not long after. It too blew up. The game in general was very similar to CSGO. You start each match on opposite sides of the map, buying your weapons, and then on top of that, the gameplay was almost the same, save for a couple differences: abilities. And this is kind of where Overwatch gets roped into the whole thing. The gameplay emphasized thinking, tactics, and skill, just like Counter-Strike, but mixed into the game were the abilities, colorful and unique, visually appealing abilities that got even more attention, uniquely designed agents with varying stats, classes, and playstyles. Many fans of Counter-Strike immediately jumped into Valorant for obvious reasons. But even more interesting is Riot Games' approach to this game style. Okay, I've tried to make it very clear throughout the video that the genre, style, and gameplay of Counter-Strike is very unique. While the story might not be anything new, and while the setting doesn't bring anything new to the table, the playstyle is very different, and unlike most games out there, Rainbow Six Siege is a thing, but we're not talking about it. Riot not only nailed it with Valorant, but even more effective and interesting, they brought a new kind of life to it. We've all seen games come around the corner and save a genre or a series at the last second, but to bring almost a completely different audience to a game is something more to the rare side of things. just how I like my steaks. This only appealed to a very certain group of people, which isn't a bad thing. It's called target audience. It's a good thing. What Riot did was even better though. On top of adding the colorful and interesting abilities that gets people excited and interested in the game, they changed how they handled the game as a whole, adding music that's trendy, giving the agents voice lines and interactions that match what's popular now. They changed the style's target audience to a much broader audience. Teens in general. While there are many kids and adults who play the game, most of the player base are in their teen years. This, of course, made it impossible to browse TikTok or any other means of social media without seeing someone's crazy clutch or clip. And so starts the self-propelling process that boosts Valorant's player count. The game was trendy and matched the style of the time. So how is Valorant doing now? Let's just... Wait a second. I'm so sorry. Hello? Hello? Oh, hey, Chamber. How you doing, dude? I'm doing fine, as always. Good to hear, man. Good to hear. So what's up? You need to tell the fans about this creepy red button below the video. I just saw it. Oh, the subscribe button? Yeah, just press it. Okay. Oh my god. It's gray. What do I do? Chamber, dude, it's okay. It's okay. Phew. Thanks, man. No worries, no worries. So, what is it? Yeah, just make sure your red button is gray, guys, or I'll take half your candy on Halloween. Oh, geez. Speaking of which, happy Halloween, guys. Now, so far we've been talking about the events leading up to the release date and a little bit after. Now let's jump into the current state. Valorant's doing great! Everybody's been hyped up for the new update, Episode 5, Act 3, which just got released on the 18th of October of this year, of course. With this new update, we get a new agent, Harbor, who's really cool. He has all these water abilities and, whatever. We also get this really cool map recently named Pearl, which is a beautiful seaside town. And if you take the newest agent's name and put it right next to the newest map, you get, Riot, what are you doing? See, I have to congratulate Riot for something. They took a very specific and unique niche and turned it into a game that most gamers across the world have played. They opened up that niche into a much broader audience. Now, I am interested to see how the numbers will go from here. As of a couple months ago, they recently started making a comeback from a small drop in players they had, but there are still some problems that come with this kind of game. Skins are a big part of online multiplayer games. It's a cool way of mixing things up, thus keeping people playing more. You cannot have skins in Valorant. If Riot added skins, it would be one of the most damaging things they could do to the game. In this very competitive and tactical game, you need to be able to identify quickly and exactly who killed you or who peeked that corner. If you add skins to the game, it'll just be way more difficult to give out that fast and accurate call out. Let's talk about pricing in Valorant. It's ridiculous. You can get a flat, default model weapon with a blue paint job for the price of Red Dead Redemption 2. That's stupid. Though some of these skins are great quality, they are so expensive. Now, how will Riot be able to keep this game going? So far, we've been doing great, but can they keep this game exciting? Can they keep this game interesting? We'll see. These are only a couple of my concerns for the game, but they're doing alright. I like to talk about how good the updates in Fortnite and Apex are, but they're nothing compared to Valorant's. With hidden characters, skins, themes, updates, and maps layered throughout the game, I'm talking loading screens, maps, hidden spots on maps, you've got so much to get excited for. And while the skins are insanely expensive, it's still cool to get hyped for them, because they are kind of high quality. So, what do you think? I had a blast making this video, and I'll be back next week with the current state of Overwatch 2. That's gonna be a mess, so buckle in. I hope you wait a second. Do you hear that? Oh yeah, that's right. Elden Ring. The greatest game of all time. If you don't subscribe right now, the Dragonkin Soldier of Nuxtella will fly over your house and completely zap it to pieces. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and remember, life is short, play great games. When you think about Battle Royales, you might be taken back a couple years ago when Fortnite was the thing. Or if you're more like me, then you'll be taken back to World's Edge, fighting your butt off in the madness that was Capital City. And if you're even more like me, a sense of nostalgia will wash over you. Though I never left, those were the good old days, simple times. But what happened to them? Why did we leave? Where are they now? It's always, what the Fortnite doing, not how the Fortnite doing. So in this video, we'll be going over